Fantasy Football League. It is your host, Commissioner CJ, and man, we got a little bit to recap. Everything is pretty much normal because the same four teams are projected to go to the playoffs, but we are dwindling into a tighter and tighter race. You got two teams with their backs on the wall and a tough schedule to finish out for the both of them. And then you got two teams who are sitting out of the playoffs. And then you got two teams who are clinched into the playoffs, being Joey and Connor at 7-4. They're at worst going to go 7-6, and that'd be good enough to keep them into the playoffs. And then we got four teams sitting at that 6-5 range: Cole, Jack, Trevor, Nick. And that's going to be one tight finish between them. I took a deep dive into some stats, some next-gen stats, some different stats you're not used to out of your fantasy football leagues. And I'm here to report and kind of make an educated guess on what's going to happen, who's going to play out in this league. Joey, you've taken your L's in bunches, like 2 L's in a row and then 2 L's in a row later. However, I think you've been the most steady at changing your lineup. I believe, and I don't know it to be a fact, but I believe that you have the most roster changes and roster moves of anyone in the league. However, has anyone else in this league taken the time to look at Joey's bench on a week-to-week basis? It's insane. 44 times this year, a benched player has scored a point on Joey's team, and those points add up to 605. That's half of how many my starters have put up this year. More than half. And his average score per bench player is 13.8 per benched player. Absolutely outstanding. Cole. How about this for Cole? Out of Cole's 5 losses this year, Deshaun Watson has been the starter for all of them, and a touchdown interception ratio of 7-6 over his 5 losses. However, he was only started for 3 of Cole's 6 wins, and his touchdown to interception ratio in those was 12-1. And the other 3 times Cole won, quarterback was either Dak Prescott or Danny Dimes Jones, and those quarterbacks' touchdown interception ratio while Cole won 10-2. It's clear where Cole's getting most of his success from. Let's go into Jack. Jack, your running back and wide receiver combo of Dalvin Cook and Michael Thomas have literally made it impossible for a trio of those two and a quarterback to score anything less than 55 points. It's very vital to why you have won. When you win, and your 2 losses, or your 2 of your 5 losses came from when those players were on bye weeks. Trevor, did anyone in the league know that Trevor's the only team in this league to not score double digits all year? Trevor scored at least 100 points every single week. Go ahead and give it up for Trevor. I was hyped to see that. However, all 5 of Trevor's losses were against teams scoring way out above their average points per game. It was ridiculous. Joey scoring 133.7 to beat Trevor, and that is 14 points more than his average points per game. Nick scoring 169.8. That's over 60 more than his points per game. Cole 228.6, the league high. Had to score that to take down Trevor. 157.6 from Adam. 149.2 from Connor. I mean, you got to score up there to that 130, 140, 150 range. You want to take down Trevor. Trevor, I'm impressed. Nikki also sitting at 6-5. The number 2 overall pick collected him CMC, and on the swing later got Mike Evans. When Mike Evans and Christian McCaffrey have combined for over 40 plus points in 8 games this year for Nikki. And Nikki has won 6 of those 8. Twice, Nikki, you've lost, but even still, I mean, those two got to be like the most important first 2 draft picks of our fantasy draft. They score over 40 plus points combined 8 weeks out of 11 of the NFL season. So that's going to wrap us up for time this week. Go get your starting lineup set. I do want to leave you guys with a little bit of a bold prediction here. I think Jack's going to fall out of the playoffs. I think Trevor's going to find his way in there, unless Nikki can put a stop to him. We got some pretty important matchups this week, and that's why I brought it up, because it's Nick versus Trevor, and I think Trevor's going to win, and I think Trevor jumps into the playoff spot for Jack before the end of the season. With just 2 weeks to go, it'll be a total shakeup of the 4 normal playoff teams. So, Trevor, you got my support. Make it happen. Everyone else, just go get your starting lineup set.